One of my ministries in the parish is being on call at the hospital every Tuesday evening from 5 p.m. until 8 a.m. on Wednesday morning. And generally, I'm only called in cases of extreme emergency, when someone is in critical need or is dying or has died. The one blessing I hope to bring to every critical situation to which I am called is to bring the peace of Christ into that setting. Because I believe that this is what is most needed in a room where people who are watching their loved ones suffer or dying tend to be anxious or frightened or angry. However, to bring peace to others, I know that I have to first bring peace to myself. And to do this, I must learn to be still and to be silent even before I enter that room. Let's turn our attention to one wonderful scene in the gospel which we're so familiar with, and that's Mary standing beneath the cross of her son. Now, I've mentioned before that it's clear from John's gospel that she doesn't say a word. At the foot of the cross, she is silent and still. It's interesting to note in the Passion story the striking contrast between the quiet stillness of those who love Jesus and the ceaseless and constant activity of his enemies. The high priests are called together in haste at midnight. The traitor Judas runs to and fro. The Roman soldiers and temple guards march Jesus from place to place. The bustle in the palace of Pilate and Herod, and the franticness and the frenzy of the Jewish mob. But the central figures are still. Jesus allows himself to be led here and there, yes, but in himself, he is quiet and still. Mary follows Jesus to the end, but again, she's silent. She does nothing. She stands quietly beneath the cross of her son. She's simply there, with him, not to do anything, only to love and suffer and be still. There is something about this sorrowful mother, something absolutely essential that we can learn from her. In the book, The Man Born to be King, the character of Mary reminisces with us about this moment beneath the cross. She says, "When he was small, I washed and fed him. I dressed him and combed his hair. When he cried, I comforted him. When he was hurt, I kissed his wounds to make the pain go away. And when darkness fell each night, I sang him to sleep." Now, here on Calvary, he collapses in the dust, and his hair is tangled with thorns. They strip him in public under the afternoon sun and hammer nails into his flesh. And darkness is beginning to descend and to cover him. There is nothing I can do, nothing at all. These words of Mary, they're not said in despair, nor should we despair. This is something that we can learn from this sorrowful mother. Mary goes on to say in this story, the man born to be king, be still, sister, be still, brother, be still. We have no needs of words. My son and I, be still. Be still. The stillness and the silence of Mary are signs not of defeat, but of intense and creative activity. Be still There are times when you will learn that all your outward activity cannot heal. Only love can heal. So think deeply, reflect deeply, love deeply, and you will have no need of words. Your stillness, the sympathy from within your heart, your co-suffering, your love will go straight from your heart to the heart of the beloved. There is nothing Mary could do or say, but she and her son had no need of words. It is their silent loving that heals. You know, we who walk by faith, we're not blind. We can see that physical distance is not an insurmountable barrier that prevents our help and our healing. On the contrary, our spirits have a power to conquer space and time. Our spirits united to Christ have the power to heal and comfort others, as Mary teaches us, as she silently stands at her son's cross. Besides John's image of Mary at the cross, I always look to the icon of our Mother of Perpetual Help because it invites me, and I'm sure it invites you, to be silent and be still. This icon is not meant to represent Mary in a natural way, as, for example, the Mother of God as she lived on earth. What the artist is trying to represent in this icon is Mary's spirituality, so that the person who gazes at her image is slowly and gradually moved by the spirituality that is expressed and rise to her real presence. In the stillness of her posture and in the silence of her sorrowful, sympathetic eyes, she invites us to be still and come to her in silence. She wants to hear our hearts speak first, and she in turn speaks to us from her heart, assuring us of her love and her presence and her compassion. She wants us to have confidence in her love so that we can feel free to ask her for whatever we need. Many, many miracles are attributed to this picture of our Mother Perpetual Help. Physical cures and personal needs granted to so many that seemed impossible were it not for Mary's intervention. However, these miracles are limited in scope compared to those to whom God wills to reveal his healing power. But the one miracle that is as constant as water flowing from a fountain is the healing grace that pours out on anyone and everyone who's willing to come before her image and be still.